What's going on, guys? It's Tetrosphere, and I do have another match from the 3v3 case tournament at GalaxyBusterTCG. This time we have, on the left, Logan. On the right, we have Corey. We are in for a doozy here, of course. Corey has been absolutely tearing it up at this event, staying at table 1 with his team. Now, for the question of the day, I just want to know, for those of you guys who are playing Genesis format, what are you experimenting with? What maybe if you've already played at your locals with it? What archetypes are feeling good for you? Me personally, right now I'm on Paleo, and I'm liking it quite a bit. I'm looking forward to playing that at my locals here once that opens up. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the match. We do have the all-important dice roll. Really shuffling those rocks up there, Corey. You're making sure that's sufficiently randomized, and it worked out for you because we do roll a 6 and a 3. That makes 9. Let's see what our man Logan is able to answer with. And the gods are not pleased with Logan as he rolls a 4, giving priority to Corey to decide to go first or second. We can only assume first is in the books for our boy here. I'm unsure the deck that Logan is on. I think historically he has played Yummy. He also enjoys trap decks like Dinomorphia. So yeah, let's see what we're up against here. First action is going to be Mitsurugi Prayers, tributing the Aramasa. I see Called by Talent, Harpies, Cross Out, and Anti-Spell Fragrance in the main deck here for Logan. So that is... Moving on, looks like we summon Saji with the effect of Prayers, triggering Saji to search Ritual and Aramasa because it was tributed by the effect of Prayers to add Murakumo. So now, assume we can clear off to the main phase here. We're going to go first action Ritual, summoning from hand. We do have Murakumo hitting the field, tributing Night Sword Serpent and Kusanagi. Kusanagi's going to put Ritual back in the hand. Night Sword Serpent is going to hit the field. And once again, from Corey, we do see this fantastic opener. Just really putting belt to ass. We're going to go ahead and rank for the Saji and the Night Sword Serpent. Overlay for Gallant Granite once again. And grab the Nibiru. I get the feeling that this Nibiru will not be showing up to play this game based on what I'm looking at in... Logan's hand, but hey, you never know. We're going to go ahead and Ritual this time to summon from deck. Probably going to go for that turtle, the Futsu, tributing the Murakumo, and then Murakumo is going to try to revive itself and add a Mitsurugi card. Or rather, add a Mitsurugi card, then summon itself. We're going to go for another Prayers. Murakumo hits the board. Let's see. We have Pre-Prep, Nib, Fuwa, Habakiri. That's the interesting thing as well, as we haven't even used Habakiri's effect to revive itself. But we are... Or not revive... Oh my god, what am I saying? Habakiri's effect to reveal in hand. But we're going to go ahead and go on Pre-Prep anyway, grabbing a second Habakiri and Mirror. This is fine here. Just establishes some more resources. And we're going to go ahead and go Mirror to summon Habakiri, tributing the Habakiri from hand, which is then going to perform another search. Looks like we're probably trying to grab that Magatama. And that is exactly what happens. We're going to set the Magatama and the Prayers. And looks like we're linking off the Habakiri and the Gallant Granite for IP Masquerena. And we are, Logan definitely needs to be careful with his hand there. I believe he probably just showed that Called by the Grave to Corey. Hopefully our man was not looking, but we'll see. So we draw for turn, and there is Lollipo Yummy Way. So if we're able to blow through all this interaction, we definitely have a play here. First action is going to be Harpy Feather Duster. Take care of that back row. We could Murakumo here, but there's probably not a need. But apparently we do feel somewhat threatened by this. We want to at least take care of some resources. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and chain that. We're going to discard the anti-spell, and if you're Corey right now, you are probably questioning your very existence because there is just no way that anti-spell Fragrance and Harpy's Feather Duster would ever be in the same main deck, but here they are. And the normal summon of Lollipop hits. In response to the summon, we're going to go for IP Masquerena to Link Summon. Do we have a response? No, we do not. Murakumo and IP Masquerena could make an SP here or Dynamondo. It is, in fact, Dynamondo, which I think makes perfect sense here because in this case it does represent 2 interruptions. It's going to be Lollipop to shuffle. It's going to be shuffling back the Lollipop and the Habakiri. Let me read Dynamondo. See, oh, I even got my phone on me. I'm not sure if Dynamondo has to shuffle both back. It must, though, because that's how we're playing here. So now Habakiri is potentially going to be, or not, Mirakumo is potentially going to be summoned by the Dynamondo, which is tributing itself. Mirakumo hits the field, and now we are attempting its effect to blow up the board. Lollipop hits the grave. We now have Talent and Crossout Designator. By the way, I just want to point out the fact that we drew Talent, Crossout, and Called By is, honestly disgusting. Like, had that been our hand and anti-spell, I'm a little gaggy. I gotta be honest with you. Yeah. We could potentially steal the Murakumo, make a Typhon. That's a possibility. We do go Talent. Take the Murakumo. Okay, that's probably exactly what we're doing. We'll go ahead and make Typhon. Futsu is going to trigger. Summon Kusanagi. Kusanagi is going to try to put something back. And we're going to grab another Ritual. The problem is Corey just has so much follow-up. Like, the Typhon can out all this because it can obviously return the Futsu to hand and it can beat over the Kusanagi, but I mean, we already know Ritual's back in hand. We know Mirrors in the Grave, which can do its friggin' thing. I mean, there's just so much here. We're going to detach the Murakumo to put the Futsu back. We're going to set the cross out, and we're going to pass it back over. Draw phase, Ghost Bell hits the hand. That is decent. I see the arm going up. I'm guessing this was a judge call. Oh, yep, I see the Crocs. You guys can't see it behind my face cam, but that is the judge. He is approaching. Oh, I remember this. I was there physically. So basically, the question was whether or not Murakumo is still considered properly summoned if it was overlaid and then detached. And the ruling here, which my understanding is correct, was that the card never entered a place of private knowledge, so it is still considered properly summoned. So we're going to go ahead and go Prayers, tributing the Futsu in hand. This will allow us to add and then potentially take 800 damage to summon. No response to the Prayers. So we're going to go ahead and add Saji. And then do we take the 800? Yes, we do. Murakumo hits the field. Now it can't activate because Typhon does have its Floodgate effect online. So we normal summon the Saji. We do trigger its effect. And this seems to be fine. In fact, we, as the perspective of the viewers, know it's fine because we know that all that is in the back, there's a crossout designator. Saji is going to add another copy of Ritual. Now, what you need to do here before you can really do anything else is out that Typhon, because Murakumo will not be able to trigger Engrave while Typhon's on the field, because Typhon's Floodgate effect applies everywhere. Anywhere that a monster has more than 3,000 or more attack, those monsters' effects cannot trigger, even Engrave, even in hand, anywhere. So, we do go to use our Battle Phase to out the Typhon, and now we're able to make some more plays. So now we can go Ritual. Looks like this is good. Looks like we summon Habakiri by tributing the Murakumo on the field. And now, of course, the Murakumo can try to summon itself back and immediately following searching a card. Don't know why that Ritual went to hand, but it definitely should not have. I think he just picked that up by mistake. Adding the Aramasa. Or maybe he did throw it in the grave. I think he had 2 copies of Ritual, and now I think I only just saw 1. Maybe I just missed it there. But it looked like he picked up the one that was used to summon the guy, but I guess not. SP hits the field, linked off with Habakiri and Saji. SP outs the crossout designator, and that's all she wrote. So a pretty handed game 1 for Corey there. Pretty poor draws for Logan, which is, it's kind of crazy that that hand was just so bad for going second, but just so completely maniacal for going first. I mean, you had the called by, you had the talent, you had crossout designator, you even had freaking anti-spell fragrance. I don't know why that's in the main deck. I don't know why. I mean, I can kind of see Harpy's Feather Duster in the main deck, okay? Like, there's a world where I can see that being rational. Yummy is a deck that can do a lot with just 1 card, so even when you win the roll, you go first. You're maybe fine with that card being just dead in hand on your turn 1. But with a card like Anti-Spell Fragrance, which is exclusively good going first, and your deck struggles going second, it's just not logical to include those cards in the main deck. Because, like we just saw, that card is not something you want to see in your hand when you lose the die roll, and then you didn't have extenders. Like, the anti-spell could have been an extender. It could have been another starter. You know, I don't know what your deck construction's looking like, but, you know, from the standard list, I'm not sure what you took out, but it could have been a hand trap. It could have been a Piri Reese map. Could have been 1-for-1. Lots of things it could have been. But it just wasn't, because instead it was, in fact, Anti-Spell Fragrance. I do see the Contact Seas coming in for our boy Corey, and I saw the Shifters probably staying in the main deck there. That's definitely very good in this matchup, so not too much to change for Corey. On the side of Logan, I am hoping that the Harpy's Feather Duster is coming out. And if you're playing like any Bestials, that definitely should be coming in. Solemn Warning would be really solid if you have that in your side deck. Droll, obviously. Did I just see you take out Anti-Spell Fragrance? Are you sending Corey first? Because yeah, that's 4 trap cards. The other trap card that you just took out better not have been Anti-Spell Fragrance, because that's insane in this matchup. No, okay, I think that was ASF there. I think we're good. I do wonder what the other trap was. Maybe Rivalry? No, don't put that in. Retaliating Sea is bad here. Oh, that is not a good call. That is not good. That is not good. That is no problem for this deck to play through. As we saw in the other match where K9 brought in Shifter, this deck has no problem with its cards being banished. Yikes. Well, it's his decision, and it was a decision that was made, and we'll see if it pays off here in Game 2. Seems like we're helping our opponent out with something while we shuffle up. No issue there. Here, I'll do a little shuffling myself. Shuffling my paleo deck. Alright, cut has been offered. Let's see what the cards have to say about this one. I do see a couple three blue monsters in Corey's hand. Holy cannoli Batman. Do we have what it takes? I see a lot more monsters in Logan's hands. We're going to go ahead and normal summon Cookie. This is fine. Let's go ahead and link that off into a Snatchy. Snatchy hits the board, and of course we're going to attempt its effect to place a field spell. No, we're not. We're going to go ahead and special summon Lollipo from hand, and then link those off. Or perhaps link row. Hitting the field is Cupsy Yummy attempting to add 2, discard 1. This is fine. Corey very aggressively handling his cards. I'm getting the vibe that he is not too happy with what he saw. Cupsy and Cookie enter the hand. Thinking on discard here, I take it. Again, be careful not to show Corey your hand there, buddy. All right, just chatting up with our teammates here for a moment. Hopefully our game state resumes here shortly. I can see Corey there reading a card, so they're probably trying to decipher exactly how something needs to be resolved or, you know, something of that nature. All right, we do still need a discard for Cupsy, so hopefully that's not... It was completely forgotten. We did not discard for Cupsy. So, yeah, there's that. Cookie is linked off into another Snatchy. Snatchy effective place will be used this time. Looks... I think that's a Croaky. Okay. So we're not looking to extend. We're just looking to insulate our plays a bit and offer another piece of interruption. It's interesting, though, because we could have activated the minion from hand, extended, and then gotten access to a Croaky from deck when we made a Snatchy. So hitting the field is Cupsy, which is going to search, one can assume, surprise. There it is. Alright, so we do have a level 2 tuner and a level 1 non-tuner, so Metal Marcher, Marshall, the guy, is available. And it seems like we're considering interacting here on the side of Corey. I see him looking at his hand and looking at the field. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and imperm the Marching Metal... Marshall Metal... What? You guys know who I'm talking about. Okay, I don't... It's fucking Marshall Metal Marcher, I think. So we go ahead and activate minion from hand. Use minion to revive Cupsy. Now if we desire to, we could make a Herald of the Arclight. And then we have an Ash and a Surprise to back that up. Okay. So we don't go into Arclights on our turn. We're instead perhaps reserving that ability for our opponent's turn. That's not... Oh, yes, it is. That works. That works. It doesn't matter, but it works. It is an effect that would special summon a monster, so that's fine. This is not a good position. But that also does not work. You cannot chain Ash after chaining Retaliating Sea. But we caught that. That's fine. So, Prayers is going to resolve. We have tributed Futsu for cost, which means Futsu will attempt to search on res. Saji is added to hand, and if we so desire, we may pay 800 to special a Mitsurugi from hand or grave, which we do decide to do so. We're going to go ahead and summon Aramasa. We then have Aramasa to search and Futsu to search. Alright, so we have Wosu and Ritual. So obviously Futsu searched Ritual, and then Aramasa searched Wosu. Wosu will allow him to inherently tribute a reptile from hand or field, and then also an opponent, a monster his opponent controls, in order to summon itself, reptile locking you in the process. So if we don't like the Retaliating Sea, we have an out for it. But if I'm being completely honest with you here, I see absolutely no reason to even fret. Like, Logan has just done Corey a tremendous favor by putting this Retaliating Sea on the field, because now, if Snatchy is used to perform a Synchro Summon, whatever material is used for the Synchro Summon is just going to get banished. And then, like I said, the Mitsurugi cards don't mind going to banishment, so I don't think we even out this Retaliating Sea until we're ready to go for game, because there's just no reason to. We activate Ritual, and I'm guessing we're trying to summon from deck because we're considering the Ash Blossom in our hand. We must be tributing from deck, because it looked like we went for the Ash, and then our opponent said, no, you cannot do that. Well, Corey, I don't know why I referred to him generically. So it looks like instead we're considering going for the extra deck here. It could be chaining that Snatchy, but again, we're just... Okay, so yeah, we chain Snatchy, perform a Synchro Summon. Those are banished, dude. Arclight hits the field. Hopefully that gets caught. Tributing Saji and Aramasa. Summoning Murakumo. We're going to go Saji, Chainlink 1 to search, it seemed like. Or I'm actually, he only pointed at one monster, so I'm not sure the order here. Alright, so Murakumo is going to blow everything up. And I'm not sure why the search of Saji didn't resolve. Maybe that was negated by the Herald. Cookie is going to try to reduce the attack stat of Murakumo by 1,000 on summon. This is just fine, I guess. We're going to go ahead and normal summon the Saji. Alright, so we're going to go Wosu here, tributing Habakiri and Cookie. Now we are Reptile locked. We don't search with Habakiri. We might not have a target. Or, okay, we were reminded by our teammate to go ahead and activate the search. We do try to Ash that search. Murakumo responds, negating it effectively because there were no cards in hand to discard. So now the only question here is, are we able to go for game? We do have Ritual, which contribute from field now to summon from deck. Summoning a Murakumo, and yeah, this is just game here. So it's just over. There it is, GG's. Once again, Corey putting, I've been saying it all weekend about him, putting belt to ass, just really, really putting in work. Yeah, with this pure Mitsurugi strategy, he really is taking it to him, man. And I'm happy to see it because, you know, he's a young buck in the Galaxy community, and he's doing really well. With all that aside, shout outs to the players, shout out to the store, GalaxyBusterTCG, shout out to you guys. I think we have like 2 more rounds to watch. I really appreciate y'all checking it out. Peace.